1 Thessalonians chapter 1 verses 5 to 10. You turned from idols to serve the living and true God and to await His Son from heaven. Brothers and sisters, you know what sort of people we were among you for your sake. And you became imitators of us and of the Lord, receiving the word in great affliction, with joy from the Holy Spirit, so that you became a model for all the believers in Macedonia and in Achaia. For from you the word of the Lord has sounded forth. Not only in Macedonia and in Achaia, but in every place your faith in God has gone forth, so that we have no need to say anything. For they themselves openly declare about us what sort of reception we had among you, and how you turned to God from idols to serve the living and true God and to await His Son from heaven, whom He raised from the dead, Jesus, who delivers us from the coming wrath. The word of the Lord. There were people in Thessalonica who believed that Paul was in the business of religion and preaching the gospel for what he could get out of it. In the early church, as in the present day, there were people who attempted to make money on their Christianity. They preached what the people wanted to hear, and in return for giving people permission to go against Christian doctrine, they expected the collection basket to provide them with a substantial sum. You see, they are people of the world with a focus on wealth, not truth. That certainly was not the truth with Paul, because he earned his money by making tents, not by preaching. It is important to remember that Christianity was a new religion, and subject to persecution, but that did not prevent disciples from teaching others about Christianity, and thus opening the door to the possibility of and physical dangers. In 2014 there was the same risk of persecution and death at the hands of the Islamic State, who justifies the murder of Christians by quoting the Quran 47:4. When you meet those who disbelieve, smite at their necks till when you have killed and wounded many of them. You would expect these people to abandon their faith, and save their lives, but they, like the early Christians, they refused to do so. The Thessalonians were never ashamed to show they were Christians, and they knew they were placed here by God to serve others. Christians are called upon to serve the world, and to await the second coming of Christ. Loyal service, patient waiting, and humility are necessary, as we wait for the glory of heaven. Humility leads to strength and not to weakness. It is the highest form of self-respect to admit mistakes, and to make amends for them. John J. McCloy, an American lawyer, diplomat, banker, and presidential advisor.